Warm welcome. Nice to see everyone. We will start with language announcements. First, we would like to invite Ricardo for the Spanish group. Welcome.
Hola, bienvenidos. En Android, si están en Android, en un iPhone o en un iPad, en los controles de la reunión hagan clic en los tres punticos o en más. Hagan clic en interpretación de idiomas, luego hagan clic en español, luego activen el botón para silenciar el audio original y finalmente haga clic en listo. Y si están en un computador, en Windows o Mac, en los controles de Zoom Web, hagan clic en interpretación, que se muestra como un símbolo del globo. Luego hagan clic en español y finalmente hagan clic en silenciar audio original. La interpretación va a estar activa cuando terminemos con los anuncios de idiomas. Gracias.
Thank you, Ricardo. And welcome to Meenakshi for the Hindi group.
भाषा के चुनाव के लिए आप ग्लोब सिंबल पर अपने क्लिक करें। विंडोज और मैकओएस के लिए भाषा का चुनाव करें और एंड्रॉयड और आईओएस के लिए मोर पर क्लिक करें और भाषा के अनुवाद के चुनाव के लिए भाषा को चुनें, हिंदी भाषा को, और डन कर दें। थैंक यू।
Thank you very much. And Stephen for former Yugoslavian language. I think Stephen just needs to unmute. Hello.
Hello.
Very good. We can hear you.
I didn't hear what did you
You'd like
say
to give announcement for language interpretation?
za prevođenje znate sve što treba, znači 3 tačkice, language interpretation. Are we former Yugoslavia or Korean? Former Yugoslavia. Sara, are we former Yugoslavia?
Yes, former Yugoslavian, that's right.
Ok, znači former Jugoslavia, kliknete to, mutirate originalni zvuk, ako nećete da slušate njega nego samo mene. Na kompjuteru imate onaj znak globusa, znak globusa i onda njega kliknete, odaberete former Jugoslavia, potvrdite i mutirate originalni zvuk. Ok, vam šanti.
Thank you very much. So I was muted. Stephen may need to log in with a different device because it's not working right now. So thank you, everyone. And just checking everything is okay for Spanish and Hindi. Good. And we will start with a short video. This is a short drill from Madhaban, from Bapdada, and words spoken. We can experience and listen, and after a few minutes we'll meet back.
second one. एक सेकंड में सारी सभा जो भी जहाँ है वहाँ मन को एक ही संकल्प में स्थित करो। बाप और मैं परम धाम में अनादि ज्योति बिंदु स्वरूप परम धाम में बाप के साथ बैठ जाओ। अभी साकार में आ जाओ।
Thank you. An amazing way to start and to meet each other, having this option. So welcome everyone, and please type if any issues with sound. Questions, thoughts, comments, and warm welcome to Prashant, and good afternoon.
Hello and good morning and good afternoon to some countries. Nice to meet again. And so nice to start with Drishti, meeting with Baba and Baba's words. Let us continue with that experience. Baba is the essence of what Baba said. Come in that home and experience our timeless form. That is the form of the soul, the presence, invisible presence. And in this home is the company of the Supreme Friend. Also, in that incorporeal form, at this level, there is perfection, all-round perfection. Perfection of the true self, perfection of the home, and the reality is timeless. We do not need to have any other thoughts at this time. Nothing is more important or urgent than these two companions, true self, true Father, immortality, perfection, eternal bond. Thank you. Our emphasis today will be on the experiential side and quickly revising some aspects that we discussed in the past, some images, and these images will help us in the experience. Everything is for the experience. That is the Vigyan part. Gyan, knowledge and information, we have understood it now. But Vigyan is the experience of this. The higher knowledge is at that level, in the experiential level. So one image that is very important for us, relevant. We saw if we were to take a photograph of the mind, as a photograph of the soul, what is happening? This is representing the clean soul conscious state, where the soul naturally is aware that he is an invisible guest, and he finds it strange that anyone would create attachments in that little story. That is represented by this. We also saw another state of mind where One is not only caught in the story, one is even defining himself based on that story and creating ego within him. And in the midst of this, there is soul awareness, but it is reduced to insignificance. The 24 hours is in the story. So in that mind, he has forgotten even. It is like a shutdown. There is home, there is a father, there is a great family, but it is not there for him. It is just like someone who is asleep and dreaming. He has got his parents and he has got his job, he has got his life, but he is not experiencing anything. He's in the dream. So that mind is representing that one is lost in the story. Its seed remains, that potential is there to wake up and re-experience, that is there. And that is represented by this dot. Our effort, our spiritual effort and journey is to bring about the transformation. Create seconds, minutes where we are growing in that soul awareness. So accurate. This will happen if it is done accurately. Just if I pray to God, that is not, they don't even aim to bring about this deeper change. This will not happen by miracle. Someone gives a blessing and it will change. It doesn't happen. Each one has to bring about this change himself. And that's why with these minutes and minutes, they are very precious for us. We also remember the image of the home and in the home is the true self. In the home is the family. In the home is the father. Just images. And we said from the home we come in this physical world. We have a journey. We have an exit. To be aware of this, our alokik reality. Alokik, the way we understand it, unearthly. At the physical level, this is like a lokik. In this world is all, we use the word gross, physical, drama-based. Our meditation connects us to the alokik. It is like coming out of the dream and discovering our world, discovering ourselves, waking up to the truth of ourselves. So all of this is alokik. Every minute you are spending your time in the alokik, you are nourishing your higher consciousness. Soul consciousness is becoming strong. So the homework, we are emphasizing a lot on this. We all need to create time to do this homework. And sometimes the language is used pilgrimage. So every day you are progressing, moving closer to your perfection. What is perfection? This, what is shown here, this may be the perfection. So every time you are creating these experiences in the alokik accurately, that is helping you go to the destination, pilgrimage of remembrance. It is not a physical pilgrimage. And we saw cluster of experiences. It is not just one, some repetition, cluster of experiences. You may see yourselves as an invisible traveler. Another time, even as we are talking, try and experience this. Invisible traveler, seeing this physical story. Invisible traveler is different to the story. Prashant is part of the story. An invisible traveler is immortal and he has his world. He is out of the dream. He has got family, he is alive to this, awake and alive. So during the seconds, minutes, you are practicing this. You are in the alakik. When you are aware that in this home is your father, true father, eternal father. Rest all are drama-based relations and fathers. Here is the true father, and true father is forever in truth. He is father, but he is also the true teacher for us, true guru for us, because he always stays in truth. He is the Ram who never crosses the line. And we want to take his company because it is in that company, he's the only one who is out of this confusion. So that is the best chance we have. We want to know what he knows, what he sees, what he feels. We want to grasp this. And we said last time, company has influence. Your children, your friends, whichever company they are in, they will become like that. They will be influenced. We have the option to take the supreme company. It will be nice if you want to say anything, ask anything. You can type. Some questions that may have come to you during the last few weeks. Feel free. It is time to get things clarified.
There are some questions which have come through email, and one of them around the subject of God. Mala is asking, she would love to know the interdependence between God and souls and nature, why God needs to use certain special souls to help him in his magnificent and magical task of world transformation.
Sure, yeah, good question. He needs is one thing. The law is that bottom line, he doesn't need anything. He doesn't need to bring transformation. But law is that depending upon the karma, anyone gets fruit. That is the law. If God was to create heaven, he's the one who will get fruit. So if he wants to give the return to someone else, he has to inspire him, he has to teach him to do the action. That is the interdependency. It is not coming from the need, he doesn't need, but it is also an act of giving. Yeah. Is it clear, Sarah? Is the concept clear to you? What I said was clear?
It feels like the emphasis is not in the drama, so the bottom line is freedom, and then it's about the role. And,
yeah. Any other questions?
Yes, a couple of questions. One is echoed by Marie in the chat, but also Shyam. Similar question. understanding soul consciousness is possible whilst being here and involved, but if there is pain and injustice in the drama, is it possible to be soul conscious and still get those feelings and emotions?
Sure. Yeah, good question. We have a friend here who is an actor, and he gets invited to act for BBC television. And now and then he's happy. The moment he gets called, he's very happy to go for the television performance. And he said he has been beaten up many times, and he has been killed many times, because he's acting in a drama where he gets shot or he gets beaten up. That is, he laughs at it. And next time he's called, he's happy to go. Usually the part he gets is some kind of fighting, I think. That is the kind of roles he gets. So he is very happy to go. He's told he will be, the victim in the drama. He still goes all the way. What is the difference? Why does he still go? Because he is in full clarity. He knows that he's never a victim. And he is never, he never deals with injustice. That is the script. Soul consciousness means this. Soul conscious is not just knowing of the soul, but soul conscious person, he knows his wonder of the sky and wonder of his family and his personal truth, and knows that he is never a victim. He never injustice. And so drama, that is a script in the drama, and that is, he sees it as a joke, that just like our friend, he sees it as a joke that he gets beaten up and it's a joke. Only in confusion, if this actor was confused, then he will say, why am I only given this part or something?
I think that helps with Marie's question. She just asked, what about grief and loss? It's a human need to connect to others, yet when they pass on suddenly, there is loss. We differentiate the role and the real one behind. We don't get the experience of loss. Did you want to add anything?
During these 3 days, it will be nice for us to keep this as an aim. Let us all collectively do this, that we will use paras constantly. And if we use paras, then this alokik reality, that becomes alive. We live in that. It is not just a meditation, and then your drama is your word. That is Patthar. For Patthar, they live in that story, and they do the meditation sometimes. Whereas our aim is to wake up. Soul wakes up. And awake soul, his family is the alokik family. He has woken up. He knows his eternal reality. Subtle and alokik is normal for him. He doesn't use the word God. That is father and friend. He belongs there. That is his word and life. And he comes in the drama for short time. He is, even though he's acting, he is the audience of the drama. Let this be our aim for the 3 days. So the meeting here is nice to reinforce, but let it be our life itself.
Kim was asking and you've answered it really, to clarify the journey to remembrance, to escape the forgetfulness that this is a drama. It is intrinsically linked to moments of meditation practiced every day. Would you agree with that?
Yes, and every day, but often, in a day also, often, repeatedly to come back. Can be for 1 minute, but to as fun, to play with, check if you are still in the paras, if the soul is conscious still, and see it as fun. I'm going to share one concept today, and that concept, Baba likes the term Raj Rishi. Rishi is a word for the sage, Raj for the king. So what you are becoming is Raj, on one hand king, prince, and on the other hand a sage, renunciate, the one who is that is wisdom. Sometimes the word philosopher, king, those expressions are used. So at a deep level, you are becoming prince, king, also the sage. This one who is conscious, soul that is conscious, he is certainly not a slave to anything in this drama. Ego is forever a slave. Ego is forever a beggar. Ego is forever a victim. Soul that is conscious is never a slave, never a beggar, never. He needs nothing in the story that he knows. Just as you feel, even if you are acting in a drama, you need nothing in that drama. So awake soul knows that he is never a beggar, never a victim, never a slave. What remains is that freedom. And when anyone is free, he becomes the master. So the conscious soul is master of his own mind. He is the master of matter. He feels freedom. And Baba calls him prince, an eternal prince who belongs to the King of Kings. So on one hand, he is a Raj, Raj royal. On the other hand, he is a Rishi. Rishi is such a big word. In the Copper Age, the sages there, they are called Rishis. As if today there are no Rishis. At that time, there were Rishis. And Rishi is definitely, there is wisdom. So one who is awake and become free, definitely he has got Gyan Vigyan. He has wisdom. He knows things. Even if anyone is experimenting with paras, you know a lot more than any scientist. Because most of the scientists are pathar. They are caught in that little box. They can't think beyond that. Whereas if you are just playing with paras, you have wisdom more than anyone else, pathar. But one who is awake, he knows things, he knows the three worlds. So he has got wisdom, he knows about karma, the significance, he knows why there are problems, why there is illness, why there is corona. He understands, he knows the answers to that. So it's most refined, the knowledge he will have. So Rishi. But the Rishi, in another aspect of the Rishi, he is a renunciate. He has no problem with renunciation. So here he's a renunciate of the whole drama. He's not going into the forest, renouncing things, renouncing city, go to forest. No, the awake soul, because of the understanding, once he has understood this is the story, even if he is playing a part of a king, He's a renunciate. He's putting on the mask and he's putting on a crown and a plastic thing and a beard and a big beard. He's playing the part. But internally, he has no attachment to his beard and no attachment to his crown, no attachment to that plastic throne. He's quite happy to play the stunt of a king, but happy to go. So one who is conscious, he is naturally rishi. And it is a nice, and remember this word, soul conscious soul is a Raj Rishi. At a deep level, he is a Raj Rishi. Down the line in the drama, as we often said, physical is the reflection of the subtle. So if at a subtle level you are the prince, at a subtle level you are Rishi, drama will also take that form, because the reflection will not be very different. Whether it is in this life, next life, wherever, it will be that Raj Rishi will be the expression at a physical. Philosopher king. Now, let us come to the subject of prince. So there was a prince, this soul conscious soul. Soul is a prince. We are using the word prince for the soul with a crown. So he comes in this drama, and down the line, he forgets he's a prince. And that is the journey of the soul, over the ages. So let us see what is one scenario. Imagine there was a prince in your kingdom, in your country, prince. He goes to another country on holiday, meeting friends. But after some time, he gradually forgets that he is the prince. Let us take a scenario. He gradually forgets he is the prince. He is into some company, ordinary company. But if he forgets he is the prince, then he is nobody. And then others have to give him something, and he's happy when he's getting something. He's happy. His friends cheer him up and buy things for him. He's happy. And then no one gives him something. He is begging. He has to think, he has to, please give me a coin. So he actually acts like a beggar. When he has forgotten he's a prince, he's acting like a beggar. And he feels like a beggar. He has happiness of a beggar, he has sorrow of a beggar, he has, he goes to bed as a beggar, he wakes up as a beggar. He suffers as a beggar. So what is he then? Is he a prince or is he a beggar? You can answer on your chat. If someone has forgotten he's a prince, his family is seeing him as a prince, but they are not there. His father is waiting for the prince to come, but he is seeing himself as a beggar from the morning till night. He dreams as a beggar, he wakes up as a beggar, and he suffers as a beggar. So is he a prince or a beggar?
Some are saying beggar, and some are saying he's a prince with amnesia.
Okay.
A prince is always a prince.
Okay, sure. So you go to him and you tell him, "You're prince, do you know that? You're prince," he says. "I'm prince? Thank you very much. But have you got coins? So what do you do now?" He listens to what you tell him. He says, "But coins, please give me coins. Thank you for your nice blessing. I'm a prince, but coins." So what do? You are realizing that problem is deeper. It is not just he has forgotten the prince. There is a spell. So you have to do something else. So you might tell him, okay, sit here and repeat, I'm a prince, 100 times. So he sits there, there's a big photograph, he says, I'm a prince, you are the king. He does that for half an hour. As soon as that time is finished, he says, coins, please, anyone got coins? So what are you going to do with him? How are you going to help him? You know that he is a prince, but is there hope? Can you do something about this?
As Sushma said, give him the vision to see himself clearly and gonna show him his identity and home. Don't make him a successful beggar. Sure.
So you're realizing that there is a deeper problem here, So when we are saying beggar is not just asking for coins. There are beggars. Beggar is a syndrome. Beggar means he will compare with other beggars. He will be unhappy sometimes. He is having worry about tomorrow. He is his whole behavior, the beggar behavior, that all goes together. He may even get lots of coins one day, but his happiness is the happiness of a beggar. And his lifestyle is of a beggar. He thinks himself as a beggar. So it is the syndrome, beggar syndrome. So we are really talking here of human, and it is not just a beggar of coins, but beggar, what is happening to human souls, this eternal prince, what has happened to the eternal prince. In one Murli, Baba says, Baba went on a tour and Baba saw everyone is begging. Some are begging for power, some are begging for votes, some are begging for love, some are begging for position, some are begging for life, and some are begging for death. So Baba says, but bottom line, everyone was begging. But the paradox is, everyone is a prince. He's an eternal prince. He's begging for things that he already got. Just like that beggar in from your city, the prince. He wants the whole kingdom, but he's begging for coins. Same way here, this beggar, he already got bliss and peace, and he belongs to the King of Kings, and he's the one who is begging for things he already got. In different ways he's begging, he thinks that someone should give him something, then he will be happy. There is begging of gross and subtle things. Gross begging we might know. There are subtle begging also. Begging for company, like that kind of a begging. I have seen in me, the begging for justice. That is, I'm in that story. I'm expecting there should be some kind of a fairness or justice in the story. I've seen in myself begging for manners, and that others should have manners, others should be good, others should do something right. And that is also begging. And Prince, he is not begging that others should have manners or others should have, as an example, say, some prince comes to this city, some prince comes, Prince William comes. He does some charity, functions, and Meets people. If he is told, so there are people here, the people here are miser, he doesn't worry about it. He says, okay, he does some charity work, he goes. A beggar comes, you tell a beggar, people in this street are miser, that beggar will not say it is their problem. Beggar will say it is his problem also. Understand, no? He says, why people are miser? Why people should not be miser? He will give a lecture. That should be generosity. Because the beggar, one who is in the beggar mindset, he's begging for generosity also. Others should have some manners. One who is prince, someone is a miser, it is his problem. It is not a problem of the prince. So in this world, say someone has got no manners. It is his problem. It becomes my problem only if I'm a beggar. I understand? Yeah, am I clear? I'm begging for others should be nice, and so I can have a bit easier life. That is my idea. Drama should be a bit easy. So I'm begging within the drama for others should have manners, or others should not do something wrong. Others should behave the right way, follow the law. That is also begging. If they are doing something wrong, it is their problem. It is not my problem. Worth writing this down, because you might get trapped into this thinking sometimes. Why someone is doing something, they can get caught. And so as a result, he remains, the prince remains carefree. He sees the drama with all things going on around it, but he is not disturbed by it. He is not in the beggar syndrome. He is in that prince mind. Now, one statement that gets used, say we were talking here, how can we awaken this prince? How can we remove the beggar? Now, who will succeed? Who will have success in helping the beggar wake up? Many people go tell him, you're a prince. He says, but give me coins. So they then give up and they come back. Who will have success in helping him wake up? Someone is saying king. Why? Why will king or the queen will have more success in helping him wake up? What is the one reason?
His intellect. He's not a beggar himself.
Okay. Another reason is when the king goes or queen goes, queen sees the prince. Queen is not seeing the beggar. So he says, I will just wait for another 5 minutes and then I come. This is a good time. People are coming out of the church and I will get few more coins for the next 5 minutes. After just 5 minutes, I'm coming. Queen will not say, yes, well, let us wait for 5 minutes. Queen will say, no, drop all that, that begging ball, coins, drop it all, come, He might say, I will show you my collection of junk. Queen will say, no, don't want to say anything. You come out of this mess. Queen sees the prince. She is not seeing the beggar. She will not go into that direction at all. Whereas you go, you tell him you're a prince. He starts saying, give me coin, give me coin. And then you give him a coin. So which means you are treating him as a beggar. He tells you, I will show you my junk. And you go there to look at his junk and collection of the junk and take photograph and you come. So you are reinforcing your language of words was that he's a prince, but body language is that he's a beggar. You are treating him as a beggar. And so that reinforces the beggar. That keeps the beggar as a beggar longer. Which beggar will have difficulty to wake up? There are all kinds of beggars. Is there any beggar who will be tough, difficult to wake up? Let us see Angela. I can see Angela. What is your answer, Angela? Which beggar will have difficulty to wake up? Anyone can answer. Angela, want to say anything? You can type.
And while Angela's typing, others, the one who's treated as a beggar, one who feels is not begging but is successful, one who's getting a lot of coins, a soul, well, Shaim is saying soul conscious beggar, but I don't think that's possible.
Yes, the beggar who is receiving lots of coins, successful beggar, he will have more difficulty to wake up. All along see this in the world. In this world, no one is begging for coins, but if he is successful beggar, he has got a good position, he has got lots of people praising him, and he has got lots of cakes. He thinks world life is good. He's quite pleased with his life. And that is successful beggar. Why does he need to discover the sky and experience this? His life is okay. He will not be making effort to discover the prince. The one, as long as we know, there can be all kinds of exceptions, but one who is successful beggar, he will be stubborn, no chance of he discovering the prince. All along we are using the word prince for the awake soul. Soul is the prince. Soul is the one who is begging, who thinks he's a beggar. Yes, so this is a verdict. This is the present situation of all these invisible princes. They are all princes. They are all eternal princes. And by that we are meaning they are lucky. They got most refined treasures of bliss and love and peace, and they got immortality, they got home, they are loved by the King of Kings, they got a great family. Their truth is big. But at present, they are not experiencing any of it because they are in the drama and they are successful beggars there. And even if there is a possibility of waking up, this successful beggar prevents them from making an attempt to wake up. So the life continues in the drama, in the mode of successful beggar. You want to say anything or add anything?
Yes, Roy, there's a few questions coming in, but Roy is asking, how important is guidance and teaching to the beggar to see his real self?
Sure, nice. And guidance, teachings have great value. But if it is a successful beggar, he will not be looking for it. Or even if he gets it, he will not value it that much. Because he really don't want to drop his trade of begging. So this is the twist in the journey. But yes, the guidance has great value.
Nice. And Mala's asking, so how do we deal with justice and fair play, etc., without being in beggar mode?
Yes, very good. Deal with it from the prince mode. Like Gandhi is a good example of this. Gandhi would say, I'm not going to hate you. I'm not going to create any, even from the heart, I want to love you and I want to give you the best. But you will not get obedience. I will disobey, certain injustice. No, I'm going to stop that. But I'm going to love you anyway. So internally he remained a prince, or it is in that direction. In that generation, it is extraordinary. So and that is the case. There is in life is all things going on, justice, injustice, all this. That is life. You deal with it, but why should I deal with it as a beggar? Then I got two penalties. One is external injustice, and one other is inner. I am going down, to create a beggar within me. That is another penalty. So let me stay as a prince. So you got a first, big prize there. And as a prince, let us see the story, what needs to be done in the story, whether you should intervene or at what level you should intervene. But you are doing it as a prince. You are not begging even for the results, but you are just doing your task. You are aware of more things in a drama. Drama has a script and many factors.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so there's another artist asking, what kind of soul was Mother Teresa of Calcutta in this context?
At a personal level, don't know. Unless only the person himself, herself, can truly know and what is happening. But yes, there is a greatness in many souls, and that is nice. What we are talking here is a more refined, it is a refined efforts. At this stage, we have to observe. We have to observe the prince within us, and that helps you as a mirror. When the beggar reactions come, beggar behavior comes, that will become like a mirror. Ego within us, that we saw, the small I, ego is eternal beggar. As long as ego is there, his happiness is of a beggar and his sorrow is a beggar. I'll give you an example: beggar love and a prince love. This world, so many songs are of love. So what is beggar love? You do something, you do certain things, you give me flower, you say the right thing, you do the right thing, then I will love you. This is the beggar love. So you give me the coin and then I will love you. If you don't do it, then the love stops. If you are not bringing the flower, if you're not saying the right thing, if you're not doing the thing, if you're breaking it, then the love stops. So that is the beggar love. Prince love, soul loves the soul. The actor, invisible actor, loves the other actors. Not because they are playing the part of the nice camel, and less love because he is playing part of a dragon. And that is the part. But soul loves the soul, immensely loves. He knows the greatness of the soul, wants the best for the other soul. It is not conditional upon the script. So one day there is flower, next day there is no flower, no cake, and he is spoiling things, breaking things. That is the script. But conscious soul loves the soul. So that becomes the prince love. That is happiness, something similar. It is not based on the drama. It is supersensuous happiness. Beggar happiness is when the weather is nice, he is happy. And then the weather changes, he is unhappy. Prince happiness is not based on that. That's why Prince is the eternal Prince.
Couple of questions to clarify on the definition. Would you say that beggary is feeding the heads of Ravan?
Ravan is, even in the story, one form of Ravan is a beggar. So Ravan is a demon also, but Ravan's one form is a beggar. So as we saw here, the ego, they are eternal beggars, constantly want more. Even if you give him 10 times more, ego wants more. Ego doesn't know contentment. Ego feels guilty to feel content. So he's in a trap of this. So that's why we have to play a game of the prince. It is not the beggar will gradually become a prince. No, we have to leave the beggar and wake up. Prince has to wake up.
Interesting question from Spanish group. Why should we remove the beggar who does not want to be a prince?
Why we remove the beggar? Because the beggar blocks the prince. That beggar mind blocks the prince. Like all of us, we have understood about soul. We know about what is possible. We say it is a big miracle here. God in relationship, loving you, and the eternal bond with you, and you are immortal. This coronavirus and all, what can it do to you? One who is eternal. And he's not begging that a virus should not touch him or something. He is, angelic. He knows everyone is, he knows his family, the greatness of the family. This big truth is right in front of everyone. But if we are not experiencing it all the time, it is because of the beggar within us. Beggar blocks the prince. Do you want to know a little bit more on this? I can expand and then we take a break.
Sure.
How does the beggar block the prince? Beggar mind, he doesn't want to see what he has got. Beggar mind is this. As an example, say in your town there is a beggar, say, sitting at some near the church. Go as an experiment. You can try this few times. You may need to have lots of funds for this experiment. So go to that beggar and put 200 pounds notes in his basket. It's just an experiment. You are trying to see what he's doing. What he is likely to do, he will very quickly hide those 200 pounds. Keep some small coins in that basket, but hide the bigger coins, bigger notes. Because if he keeps those 200 pounds, he's not going to back there, say, please give me a coin. He will not have success. He knows that for success as a beggar, he has to prove to others that he is empty and he is hungry and he is complete misery and disaster. More he proves this to others, there is success. He has understood this connection, link. And so, can you imagine if someone is so convinced about this, that he has to prove to everyone that he is empty, he ends up convincing himself that he is empty. That is what. Go to the beggar and tell, let us open your bag. I want to show you what you got. He will think you are a troublemaker. He doesn't want to see it. He doesn't want to go there. He wants to just you to believe that he is empty and give him compassion, give him love. Don't tell him what he got. This is the mindset of the beggar. He doesn't want to see what he got because his yoga is with emptiness. Beggar mindset is this. He wants to see emptiness. That is his idea of success. Now, in a whole of what Baba is doing, Baba is telling you, you are a prince. You are immortal. You are soul. You are loved. You got everything. The garland is around your neck. You don't have to look for anything. You got big treasures within you. Now the beggar within us don't want to hear this. Beggar says this is trouble. You are showing him that he already got, and he will be not getting any, success. His trade will suffer. So he wants to avoid you. The beggar, you are telling him you are a prince. You are running after him. You are a prince. You are a prince. He says, you want to run away. One friend, he is telling, he's a plastic surgeon, and at a traffic light, one lady used to come, to beg, and he used to give coin, but she had a scar on the face. So one day he lowered the glass and told, I'm a surgeon here in this hospital. Come tomorrow, and I will arrange, see you, and I will get the operation done free. You come tomorrow at this time at such a clinic. She went away, and now she doesn't come anywhere close to him. she just avoids him. She goes to everybody else doesn't want to come anywhere close to him because he is going to cure her. And then she's not a misery anymore. She's not a disaster. She can continue as a begging right now. Same here. This mindset of a beggar, mindset of a beggar doesn't want to know the prince, doesn't want to know what he has got. So this is a block, that is in everyone. Beggar, as long as beggar is there, it blocks the prince. How can we solve this? We have to remove the beggar. Because if you keep the beggar, it will continue to block. It will prevent your yoga experiences. So whilst you are working on the soul consciousness and the sky and God, also you have to work on another front, and that is actively stop the beggar. You should have a campaign, stop the beggar. Not a beggar in the town, but beggar inside. And Sarah, want to add anything? After that, we can make the rooms also.
I remember the idea of a campaign, Stop the Chicken, in the people trying to be successful in the chicken coop. I like that. It felt quite catchy. Stop the chicken. Nothing else to add. For the room discussion, would you like to give a kind of reflective question, some that might find it helpful?
Yes, the big question is how to get the prince back, how to make the prince Raj Rishi, how he can be back into action, consciousness, how to bypass the beggar.
How to get the prince back into consciousness and bypass the beggar.
Mhm.
You might want to reflect on that for a few moments and acknowledge your reflections.
Discover Raj Rishi again.
So most of you are aware of the discussion break and how it works. It'll be around 10 or 15 minutes. And if you are happy to come into camera, it's a very nice way to feel like we're meeting each other and just space for everyone to share. We'll come back soon and hear from a couple of you. Welcome back, everyone, and amazing to meet and chance to reflect. Let's take a moment of reflection and silence, and then we'll hear from some others. Thank you, very valuable pause. I'm going to welcome Sanjay, who is connecting today from Israel, and be very nice to hear your reflections, what's come up for you and or in your group.
Thank you, Om Shanti. Can you hear me okay, Sarah?
Yes, only it's slightly low, but it might pick up.
Okay, thank you. So thoughts here and on in the conversation, what came up is really to stick to basics, meaning there is Murli, listen to Murli, take Baba's words, Baba's points, and work with them. Like stay so conscious as much as possible. Remember who you are. Adding to this, the experience of the last week here is, yes, this position of a player and actor is really something to experiment with. one day I was there in the office and many tasks, many telephones, many things to do simultaneously, and easily one can get into this tense atmosphere and maybe lose a temper. But then just to jump to this consciousness of an actor playing a game, and quickly things get solved in a very pleasant way and quickly, intensely, but without losing the peace and the joy. So it was mentioned before by Prashant, this consciousness of an actor, so useful, and actually is just connecting to the truth, because we know drama is a drama and it's accurate and fixed, and we are acting in this drama. Realizing this and not identifying with the role, many roles there are, and make it easy. And also beggar is also pushed down more and more. Yes, those are a few thoughts from here. Thank you.
Thank you. I like this emphasis on coming back to the basics. It's that revision of this, just this twist that comes in. And there was a question as well, like came from Roy. How do we know? How did you put it? So what's the difference between the beggar coming to believe he's a prince rather than knowing he is a prince? And all of these nuances, we need to really come back to the basics and be so clear for our own self in our own experience. So I think that's a really relevant point. And, revising and deepening, and that's what this retreats are so good. Thank you, Sanjay, very nice. And welcome back, everyone. I see some sharing in the chat and some good interactions. Feel free if you have any questions or realizations you want to share. And also welcome back to Prashant. Over to you.
Is this a good time for poll questions?
It is. Thank you for the reminder, and a couple of questions. One first will come on your screen. Hopefully, co-host won't be able to see it or answer. The translators may need to read out the question. Have you completed the 10 sessions of the online Sanjeevani retreat or the 7-day offline retreat? Okay. And, somehow the poll stopped. I'm sorry if you didn't get a chance to answer it. 91% said yes and 9% no. And there's another quick question here, simple question. Are you a current morning class student from Kamaris? So, just give that another few moments. Okay. I've just 72% yes and 81% yes, 19% said no. Thank you. It's useful. So, thank you for the opportunity. Welcome back, Prashant.
Sure. Happy to take any questions that are there.
Maybe the first question would be the one that we just mentioned from Roy. It felt connected a bit to what Sanjay was saying. What's the difference between the beggar coming to believe he's a prince rather than really knowing he is a prince?
The experience. Beggar is the experience of a beggar. He, as we said earlier, beggar syndrome. Even if he's successful, he has got worries about what might happen tomorrow, and he has comparisons and competitions. This is his life. So it is from every moment. It is not some occasional experience. It is like a constant experience. Prince that is awake, he is eternal prince. He feels full. At a drama level, there is death and there is destruction, but he feels he is never a victim. He feels full and he feels lucky, and he feels loved and worthy to be loved by God, and feels everyone is lovely. And that is his life of the awake prince. This is not sometimes. During the times, during the seconds, minutes, this is the experience, then the prince is awake. That is soul consciousness.
Thank you. Hope that helps. And feel free to comment. Nice question from Kim. Are we aware of the risks prior to coming here in this drama, that once we enter, we can get lost in it? Or is there a way that we can be saved from that?
We don't know what is to happen tomorrow. And everything reveals to us as we go along. And same thing happens right from the first moment. We don't know, but there is no need to know the whole thing. It is like our golden age, silver age, that time is to experience the prince and experience the truth and experience that soul conscious wonder and all round wonder. So that is the in its own time we lose it, and we deal with it. Now we are dealing with it, and so we come up again. But answer is, when we first come, we don't know. But also I'm saying we don't need to know.
Interesting. Yes, and earlier, before we started the topic, Nazanin was asking, in the golden age, are we aware of being souls and of the home and of the father and the invisible family? So you partially answered that, but
they may not know the details of it. The details are not there. Confluence age is the time we know knowledge. The Brahmins are the knowledgeful ones. Those who are in the deity phase, they naturally have the soul consciousness, even though they don't talk about soul. And they naturally feel loved by God, even though they don't talk about God. They feel they have an eternal home, even though they are not in the home. The result continues. That secure feeling. Just as you are going on holidays, you don't remember your home all the time, but at the same time, you know you got a home and you are secure. When it is time to return, that time you think of the home, but you don't think of it all the time. But that fact that you have a home, you enjoy the holiday better. So it is a long holiday here. Golden age, silver age. No lockdown.
It's a lovely way to see it as a holiday. Yes. An interesting question, an anonymous one. If we are working closely with the beggar syndrome and we act in a princely way, we can sometimes, or the soul is the prince who's awake, it can feel we are in a minority and that the consensus is with the beggar and feeding the beggar, making the beggar life comfortable. So do you have any comments on that?
The point is everyone around is a beggar and within you there is a prince. Is that the point?
I think so, and it can sometimes feel that one is in minority and this.
The princes are always in the minority. They don't feel they should become like beggars. In this country, how many princes are there? They don't feel they have to be in consensus with every beggar around. They are happy to be prince and act like a prince. But in this case, you might like to make others into princes. That is also angelic prince.
Yes, and Rinny's also typed princes will only see other princes and not beggars, even behind their activities or the behavior of the beggar. So
nice, yes.
It's useful. And in religion, in devotion, the rishis are asking for food. And is this called begging, or is this like a donation?
True rishis don't. What we are seeing here, that is different. Iron Age, it is different. Tradition, sannyasi tradition is different. But true rishis, they will not be, even physically, they don't need to. It is some different, their structure will be different structure.
Okay. The question from Daksha. Are our character traits or sanskaras of being a beggar or prince all already there?
An answer would be yes. Some seed is there, and now we develop the sanskars of the prince.
Reawakening and activating. Yes. Ganesh is asking, is it bondage or attachment that creates the beggar mode?
The ego, once ego takes birth, ego is a product of ignorance. Ego is created based on something that is temporary, something that is unpredictable. So ego is forever insecure, forever. So ego desperately wants more. So he wants more gold, he wants power, he wants position. Please love me more. But he gets 10 times more. Still he's insecure and he wants more. So ego remains hardwired for a begging mindset.
Yes, and Ezra is just asking, what is the missing quality or power or approach that the beggar is struggling with in themselves in terms of the sanskara or weakness, would you say?
And beggar, its existence itself is the problem, and that is why our answer is not try to analyze it. Our answer is remove the beggar. The analyzing is you are into another trap. Its whole existence is based on ignorance. We remove it. So even for us, it is good for us to know the broad map, understand the map. But when in doubt, get the soul awareness in place. Don't analyze, well, is this beggar? Very likely, if the attention is not there, beggar is in place. Some kind of beggar syndrome will be there. Beggar happiness will be there. Beggar, excitement of some kind. Beggar is the resting position. Default is beggar. We have to bring the invisible prince. Give attention to that. An invisible prince, right now, the invisible prince, invisible traveler, he is carefree. He knows he needs nothing from the story. Not even preference, not even expectation. Story, script as it goes, that's great. He is free from the story. Just like any other, in your television screen, some story going on. And there is no preference, no begging. And you're completely separate, independent from everything going on there. This is the perspective of the invisible traveler. He's happy because of his alokik reality, supersensuous. He's prince, but he's eternal prince. And his family is alokik. He loves them. They are visiting the drama also, but focus is on the alokik. We said alokik includes invisible, unearthly, divine, immortal. So the whole dimension is that. That is what he sees. And natural. For him, it is natural. Even though he appears right now, Prashant is talking and appears to be Prashant is saying, Prince, Prince. But Prashant is part of the story. Prashant will disappear there. But the invisible soul is the observer, and he is immortal. Even as Prashant is talking, the invisible soul is observing, and he knows he is immortal. We have to grasp that and nourish that perspective.
It feels like this is the service, is to be in this space. If we're not strong, if that grasp is not strong, is it better to avoid certain company which triggers the beggar in us, or because of the gravity of this syndrome?
Temporarily, any situation that helps, that may be good. Just like when you sow a seed, it needs protection in the early days. Later, it becomes very strong. It can handle the wind and storm, but early time needs to be protected. So we need to be clever with ourselves.
One question from Uma: if is even certain things on a spiritual journey, such as in this case, to want to go to Rajasthan, Madhaban, and meet Baba, go to the headquarters of the institution, does that also count as a desire?
It may, internally to check, is it coming from the beggar? Is it coming from the prince? But when you are planning it from the prince, if the program changes, it is cancelled, there will be no disappointment, because even that is coming from that space, from the prince space. And that is, we don't cancel it, we don't avoid doing certain actions. They are having a benefit for the soul. We choose those actions. Like right now, we have chosen to meet here. We are thinking it will benefit the soul. That's why we choose to meet. But if the prince is behind this, or if there is an attempt to stay in that prince mode, if suddenly technology fails, things change, you will be prince. There will not be the disappointment.
Thank you. Ezra's just typed a comment that to get out of the illusion of feeling of being a beggar, feeling weak or struggling, is the illusion of the beggar. And this was an epiphany for her. So she was grateful for that. And it feels like it's good to address a query that came near the beginning when you were talking about the not experiencing pain or sorrow or grief because of whatever's happening in the drama. For a period of time, Nita's saying it's not so easy because there's this time lag whilst we're becoming strong. Any comments on how to manage this transition period where we understand the theory, we may be beginning to grasp, but there is still the influence of circumstances in the drama?
Yes, and the drama means variety of situations. They will come, go. Camel will come, camel will go. Rabbit will come, and mouse will come, mouse will go. That is what the drama is about. Whilst everything is going on, we have to create 1 minute of perfection. Not half perfection, but perfection. Go for full perspective of the soul. If it is mixed, then it is ego is still there. That's why I'm saying not 95% perfection. Go for 100% paras, 100% soul, seeing it. Play with it for 1 minute. We can always create 1 minute in any situation. How will the invisible prince who understands this is a story and drama, how does he see it? One who knows he is loved by the King of Kings, how does he see it? To grasp this for 1 minute. And it has power to change many things.
I also like what's said that we may be feeling stress only once a fortnight, whereas before we were getting stressed every other day. So really focusing on the progress and acknowledging that. I know we're coming to time, and I don't know if you want to create some time for reflection.
Sure. And then we will have a transmission also.
Yes.
We will be finishing with Baba speaking and conducting meditation. So let us have a few minutes. And our starting position is we check if we are using the best sight and best intellect. That's the first. Game changes completely. Because the moment we use paras, for paras, this what happened today happened in a story. And everything that happened in the past is a story. Just like a camel and elephant drama. He doesn't want to go into details and details. There are so many dramas. So he can clap and step back. And he understands the invisible traveler is the invisible actor of this drama. And he is also the audience of this drama. He is also the invisible prince. And his word is alakik. When he's awake, he understands he's lucky. All this dimension is right in front of his nose. And this includes company of the supreme friend, family of noble souls, world of immortality, and world of perfection, supreme reality, right in front of the nose. He knows everyone is lucky. They all are from the same home. As we continue on our journey, the prince, invisible prince, knows of the options. He has the option to stay paras. He has the option to stay conscious. Option.